Ladies and gentlemen, friends of the cinema, I'm here to talk about The Godfather Part 3. Now, I know what you're thinking. Do you really need to watch it? Isn't it just kind of the weird cousin at the family Corleone reunion? And I get it. Part 3 is it's the Fredo of the trilogy. Right? I get it. And it's flawed, it's awkward, and sometimes it just doesn't deliver. But listen closely. You need to see this movie if you haven't seen it. Peter. Wow. Okay, lads, here's the hook. If The Godfather is the Mona Lisa and Part 2 is her sassy, slightly more dramatic sister, then Part 3, it's kind of like the family portrait painted by someone who's kind of drunk, drank a little too much before picking up the brush. All right? But even the portrait, it's still worth hanging on the wall, lads. Yes, Part 3 fails to, or struggles to stand in the shadows of its towering siblings, lads, alright? It's got pacing issues, it's a bit jumpy, a bit all over the place. Casting choices are not the greatest, even though I honestly think Andy Garcia is unbelievable in this movie, lads. I think it's his greatest performances that he's ever done. He's absolutely incredible. He was Oscar nominated for it too. And even for just Andy Garcia, just for that alone, you should watch this movie. And, it's just, this isn't about young Vito or Michael's calculated rise to power. It's about a man trying desperately to redeem his soul while everything he's built crumbles around him. And isn't that kind of deliciously tragic, And I think a lot of us can relate to these type of scenarios. You're trying to get redemption. You're trying to win back your spirit that you just buried. And if you know what I mean, or if you've seen Godfather Part 2, you'll know exactly what I mean when Michael is looking for redemption in this movie. And it does revolve around that. Okay, now let's paint the picture in the background a little bit, lads. The Corleones, they're back. They're older, a little wiser, a little sadder, with more Catholic guilt than a Vatican confessional here, let me tell you. But Michael, he was the unstoppable force, the grand master, puppet master, And he's a shadow of himself, haunted by his past, deeply haunted by his past. And the Vatican subplot, you didn't know this movie had a Vatican subplot? Buckle up, lads, because the Corleones go full in on this. It's mental. Then, you've got two words: helicopter attack. Yes, the movie gives us a mob meeting that turns into like Die Hard, right? Die Hard Part 1. By the way, I've reviewed that one. You should check that out. It's cool. It's such a great movie. And just when you think you've seen it all, there's Andy Garcia doing his best impression of what would happen if Sonny Corleone took a chill pill and got an MBA. I'll just give you a little bit. It's not ruining anything, guys. Andy Garcia is Sonny's child. Now, if you remember from Godfather Part 1, Sonny was played by James Caan. He was brilliant, right? A very uncontrollable, moody, explosive, right? And you can see Sonny in Andy Garcia in this movie. And it's just so good, man, what he's done. And we get to the climax, lads, the opera scene. Now, sometimes in my videos, lads, when I'm talking about a certain character, I show you bits of the character right in the video. But this is one of those that I'm not going to show you, okay, in case, it kind of ruins it for you, all right? So we'll try and shy away from staying in sync with some of the clips, okay, if you get me. But anyway, back to my point. The opera scene. If your heart doesn't break for Michael Corleone, and I'm not giving away anything, if it doesn't break for Michael Corleone, I can't help you. He lets out a silent scream that it's Shakespeare, man. It's heartbreak. I mean, your heart just breaks for the guy, you know, and you start to think, it really does, like if you really pay attention to this, you know, the way that we can get away, you think that you can get away with certain crimes or treating people bad in life. And this just really, this is karma in many ways. And you'll agree with the karma. You won't, your heart will still break because of karma came around and bite Michael on the ass. And it's unreal. I mean, like, look, it's a perfect film? No. Excuse me, guys. Does it try and tie up a saga that maybe didn't need tying up? Well, yeah. But it does give you closure on the scene. It does give you closure. And, you know, Michael doesn't get a happy ending. He gets a powerful, gut-wrenching conclusion that power corrupts, yes, but life can step in and kick your backside, man. So, my friends, I would recommend you watch The Godfather 3. Not because it's as good as the first two. It's because it's necessary. It closes it off. It gives you closure on the deal. All right? So, like, I'm not here to hype up this movie, you know? I'm not. Absolutely not. But it's still it's a very interesting movie. I think you'll really still enjoy it. Just don't think that it's going to be like number 1 and 2. Right? And I mean, it did get Oscar nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Supporting Actor that year. Got nominated for a lot of Oscars. 1 and 2 won a lot of Oscars, but it still got nominated. It was still worth, you know, it's still thrown at it. And, you know, it's a flawed masterpiece. Maybe that's a bit too strong, saying it's a masterpiece. Maybe. But if nothing else, it'll make you appreciate The Godfather 1 and 2 even more. Ladies and gentlemen, I seriously recommend you watch this movie.
Peter.
Wow.